You're listening to Comedy and Everything Else.
Oh, do we do one of those for us?
Oh,
do one.
Because you know how on radio stations they make you do the. Well, should we ask? We'll ask him on the. Should we ask him what we're doing?
Yeah, let's just start the show. Okay, we're doing the show. Normally, we start with 15 minutes talking about comedy, and then we talk about everything else after that. We already talked about pretty much mostly comedy. But do you want to talk about
that part?
Can we ask you questions?
I can be in the Bill Maher part.
Can we ask you questions? Anything we want?
So we're going to talk about the super delegates.
Oh yes.
I missed the comedy part.
It's like politically correct all over again, huh, Norm?
Yeah.
Jimmy,
No,
go.
but we wanted...
at the break, at politically correct, I kept just doing jokes about every subject, and then the producer ran after me during the break. He's like, "You don't have to do jokes." I'm like,
What do you want me to do? Oh, he's saying just have an opinion. Doesn't have to be funny. You go, well, you don't need me for that. I got an aunt that lives in Denver, can talk without jokes.
Yeah. I'm going to go with my strength on this one. I'm Norm Macdonald, here, ladies and gentlemen. Norm, how you feeling?
I'm not a guest, though. It's like it's on The View. And right?
Were you ever on The View?
Yeah, it was.
What's that Star Jones like?
No, you want to hear my View story?
Yes.
Yes.
Were you really on The View?
Yeah, I was in L.A. and I was doing some fucking sitcom, and I was like, I was up all night. They wanted to interview me on The View, and so I was already up all night gambling and stuff. And I'd been talking about to the producer all the week through, and he kept having comedy ideas for me. Like he'd go, "Hey, what if you come out with red hair?"
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Or,
Really?
Are you making this up?
No, that's what I'm thinking.
No, his
Seriously.
name is Bill Geddes.
Is he the guy they show on? He's always sitting.
He's the guy that they show, and he goes, I go, why would I wear red hair? And he goes, Barbara just got her hair dyed, and the gals are giving her trouble for it.
Oh, still not good, but explainable.
So I don't want to do that. So I'm like, no, I won't do that. I keep going, I'll think of something, you know. So anyways, I remember one of he kept pitching them every day. And one of them he said was, he goes, what if you go out there and all of a sudden during the middle of the interview, your phone rings.
Oh, great.
And he goes, but we don't tell the ladies, you know. Because you pull out the phone, you go, it's your agent, Morty. You go, Morty. My agent, Morty.
Marty Flipman.
So I go, Morty, you can't call me during the show, you know. And he goes, that'll be funny, man.
Why does he think he has to give you funny ideas?
I don't know, but
Swallow
I guess
your
I
gum.
agreed
Spit
to
your
that.
gum out.
Sorry. I guess I agreed to that one without.
You did that
You did
one.
it?
Well, I didn't remember, but I was like going towards in the car from the casino to the View, and I still didn't have a story. So I said, "Oh, just ask me about Bill Cosby. I have a Bill Cosby story." So when I got there, I guess without me knowing, he's like, "Hi, how are you? Here's the phone." He handed me like a cell phone, a fake one. I was like, oh, I forgot what it was for. I've been up all night and everything. So I went out and I was about to tell my
Bill Cosby.
my Bill Cosby story, and the gals had a picture of me meeting George W. Bush, who was running for election against who was he running against?
John Kerry?
Al Gore.
Al Gore?
Al Gore, yeah. Nobody knew he was really bad yet. So, but anyways,
You mean George Bush?
I had a chance to meet him. So I was like, oh, that would be cool. Like, you get to meet the president. I mean, the guy who's running to be president. And I guess there's not a lot of conservative support. And because he landed, it was just me and Ben Stein. It wasn't all these, like Hillary lands, it's everyone else.
So you met did you meet him?
Yeah, and because no one wants to meet him, you get to meet him, you know, even as a very peripheral celebrity. And I got to go on the plane. Like I would have had to be like Barbara Streisand status.
Hold on, you got to go on what's that plane called?
No, that was before he was president.
Yeah,
Didn't he still fly on a?
This is before he was president, not Air Force One.
Oh,
that's what you're thinking, Tom?
Are you still in a private plane with him?
Yeah,
Yeah, private plane.
No big deal.
That's still.
So
No, I know.
So go on. You're on the. View.
anyways, the gal showed the picture of me like shaking his hand, and they didn't even tell me they were going to do it. And then they're like, all of a sudden, everything's like they're commies or something. You know, it's like they have this picture. They keep making fun of it, like I'm Kurt Waldheim in the forest with Hitler. So, you know, it's just
You feel like saying, "Hey, this is before we knew."
Well, no, we didn't even know then. He was just running. So, anyways, I said, well, what about the guy we got in now? He murdered a guy, I heard. That's what I said.
You said that?
That's what I said.
That's what.
I said, that guy murdered a guy.
You
And then
were
Barbara
referring to-
Walters goes, what did you say? And I go, isn't it a matter of public record? I thought he murdered a guy. And then made it look like a suicide. So she's like, you're stepping on thin ground, mister. So I go,
Barbara Walters,
Which is
says
not
that?
even a saying, so you know he's in trouble.
it's true. It's not a saying. So I go, so I said, I just kept pretending like it wasn't a crazy thing to say. And she's like, oh, and the audience was all uncomfortable. And then I hear in the studio a phone rings. Like it's like a.
Oh, that. Oh God!
Like it's the guy trying to help it out, but it's at a
fix
bad
this.
time. So I pick up the phone. I go, hey, Morty. I go, what are you doing? You know, the girl's like, huh? So then I go, I don't know. I go, that Bill Geddes guy told me to take the fake phone out and pretend to talk to my agent Morty. He said it would be really funny. So then Barbara Walters goes, you are one piece of work, mister. She goes, just tell your Bill Cosby story.
Oh.
So I go, no, I can't.
At this point, when it's, are you getting nervous at all?
I mean, don't you feel like you need
Oh,
to
it
defend
was
yourself?
fun. No, it was fun.
You
It was
like
so,
that?
Oh, it was so fun. It was crazy.
I start sweating when that stuff
I want to
happens.
see a tape of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't get
Probably
it
on
to.
the YouTube.
Now,
not
what
on
part
YouTube.
of that is
I think
fun?
I
Like-
must have it somewhere, right?
Like,
That's
did
a
you
fucking good
enjoy
tape.
like exposing Barbara Walters or
It was just fun seeing everyone like all this
uncomfortable?
It was fun when it was all crazy, and then when that phone rang, it was the funniest thing ever because it was the producer like. It's way gone. The audience all like, he's talking about what? The president murdered a guy. Ring.
Ring, ring.
He's like desperately.
I'll save this.
Yeah, but did Barbara Walters realize that it wasn't really your phone? Did she think you were lying? That it was Bill Geddes doing it? Did she think you were lying? You think?
No. I think she because I was just saying what happened. She got. But I didn't know any way out of it. I didn't want them to think that was my idea.
Right.
Like I ranted about the president, and then as part of a conceptual bit, pulled out a phone. I had to tell them it was Bill Geddes.
Where did you start comedy, Norm?
What if all my questions were so formulaic?
What makes Norm Macdonald tick? We'll find out. We'll be right back after this.
What's your favorite curse word? Anyway,
Larry King is interviewing now. You got to watch him because you got to watch.
Have you
this
done Larry
movie he
King?
does. I did him as from his news and views. But on the Larry King now, you can notice he's getting really old, and he's like seen everything. Like he's interviewed everybody, and he's desensitized to everything. So like there'll be a guy on like go like, anyways, my son went missing and died. And then Larry King goes, they say there's nothing worse than burying a child. Paul Newman told me that. But no, like emotion at all.
With that,
They say there's nothing worse.
oh, can you put a little love in that?
The first death, always the worst. Just a grisly.
oh,
But he's seen it all.
Who used to say that he could have Dana Gould used to say that.
Superman?
Dana Gould used to say his guest will be like,
Today on our first half hour, we have the President of the United States. And then coming up later, Charo.
or like Dana used to say, who is it? The
Lamb Chop and Cherry Lewis.
There was one guy, I don't know who it was, but he had Larry King, and he had Superman as the guest. It was like, Superman, one word, kryptonite.
How long ago was this?
I don't remember who did that. He is the greatest to watch, though, isn't he?
I like watching him, actually. Is that wrong? I still
you know
think
what?
he's pretty good.
I actually did something for CNN.com, and it was in the studio where he does his show, and I couldn't believe how like chintzy his studio seemed. It was just a
it's
desk
nothing.
and nothing. It's nothing. It's a desk and then
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
I'm like, wow, it's almost like he's doing a radio show, you know? Like, this is much nicer than his studio, for sure.
That's what Rickles always goes. He goes, you see him in Nate now, he goes, he's interviewing Netanyahu, and then later he's with Bill and
With Bill from Wyoming.
Sid from that
Anyway.
neighborhood, Nate and now.
You know why I like Larry King? Because he gets Don Rickles, and that says somewhere deep down he gets it.
Oh, definitely.
And I always think, doesn't it seem like when he has Bill Maher on and when he has Jon Stewart on, that he likes them and agrees with most of their views?
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem like that?
Yeah, definitely.
Jimmy?
I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of the Larry King, but
Me neither.
he seems like a nice guy. I don't know.
He was one of those guys when he was on radio. He was like Tom Snyder.
I listened to him on radio. I
Yeah.
liked him on radio.
And on those old broadcasters on radio, it's like they knew everything.
Yeah, and then he would rant a lot more on the radio. Like, he was more interesting. And then now it's just he's more of just a bad interviewer.
Right.
Like, one time I saw him interviewing friends. Like, I guess his thing is that he doesn't prepare, so he's like
No, he doesn't
he's asking
prepare.
questions like
Right.
the common man would think.
Right.
So, but it really hinders him because then he doesn't do any homework. Like, he had the cast from Friends on, which is a show he obviously had never watched, and he's like, "You, what's it like working with all these people?"
That's hilarious.
You, I'm like, you? It's Courtney Cox.
So do you think when Jerry Seinfeld got a little upset or hurt or whatever it was, there was some legitimacy to that? Do you remember that?
No, tell me what happened.
Do you know? I mean, I know, but my version might be blurry. So if you have a better, well, he said something about now that your show got canceled, or something like it got canceled. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're
I don't want to
right.
give the bad version of it, but Jerry was like, Larry, my show was on for 10 years. You do know that, don't
Oh,
you?
yeah.
We weren't canceled. We went out number one.
And he said
Larry
that
King's
to-
like, well, it's off.
Yeah, something like that.
But Larry King probably just forgot.
Oh, I feel
I
bad
liked,
for him.
he called Ringo George.
Yeah, he
had the
did.
Beatles in.
You know what? Don't we all do that though? I mean, haven't we all
Yes.
Leave the guy alone.
know.
He's 90.
Yes,
Go ahead.
I'm
But it's the
leaving him
fucking
alone.
Beatles.
I'm leaving him alone.
All right.
All right. Well.
So, Todd, is there what would you like to talk about?
Well, you can
All right,
pick.
I got my new character. I did it on stage a little last night.
Oh, was it the guy who?
It's Richard Nixon. You saw it?
Yes.
So ask me some questions. I'll be Nixon.
Okay, so what
But
do you
serious,
think?
not joke questions.
Okay.
Really serious question?
Yeah. I'll be,
So
I'll
tell
be
us-
Richard Nixon in exile. Like this
All
is a
right,
couple
so tell
years
us,
after. Couple years after what?
tell us about how. Go ahead. Tell us
How's
about
life?
Tell us
being
about your first
retired?
sitcom. Remember that sitcom you had?
No,
which I used to watch.
not
all-
joke one. You can't ask
What
joke
sitcom?
questions.
Richard Nixon had a
What-
sitcom.
I
That'd be
thought
joke
a real
questions.
question.
No, I thought
He was
so.
just laughing.
I'm so
She
sad.
was asking. She was asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you get private time?
See, wait. Norm said I asked a good
Yeah,
question.
because she's doing. Yeah.
You mean I'm supposed to ask Richard
A
Nixon a
straight-
question?
Yeah.
Yes, like how do you
Oh,
enjoy
I thought I meant I
life
was
being
supposed to
retired?
Ask, listen,
Right.
Seth, I thought I meant I was supposed to ask you a question, and then you would just answer
As
doing
Richard
an impression of Richard Nixon.
Oh no.
See, I misunderstood. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead,
So go ahead,
Steph.
Steph, with the question. Steph's got a good question.
I have a good question.
My Richard Nixon character.
President Nixon, what's it like being retired?
Well, a lot of people looking from the outside think that having money is the way to go, and I can understand that. And they think if a fella has a nice car and has some money to golf whenever he wants to, well, that's a good life. But they don't know. Because the rich who do have it know it's worthless. I just meant Richard Nixon.
Oh, that's
Richard Nixon in exile.
It's just
First
so
of all, I
funny out of
started-
all impersonations, Richard Nixon.
First of all, I started laughing that he obviously had put thought into it because he had a couple affectations
Oh my
there
God,
were dead
it was
on.
like
I'm like,
really like,
why would you sink yourself into doing a Richard Nick? That's what's funny to me. Like, why would he put this into it? And then it turned out it was a funny joke at the end.
You get some.
Any more impressions? Any more characters that you've worked
know what I
on?
like
But
about-
the people that I've met, the unhappiest people, are the people
Other people.
that you see in the south of France or West Palm Beach. They play a lot of bridge. They play golf. They drink too much and think too little. And I know people will disagree with me and go, well, it'd be wonderful to have enough money to have nice suits and shoes.
I need some pod.
Well, first of all, that doesn't
think
even
about
have to be
Kelly's
Richard
eyes.
Nixon for it to be funny. Like, just a rich person doing that is funny, right? It's rich people that really are the unhappiest, really. It's the hardest. They know the plight that they're in. You know, they've got everything. You want some of this?
Yes, I wouldn't mind. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So you'll think it's something that bothers you. We usually write some things down.
Oh, it's a game now? It's an
No, it's
an
not a
improv
game. But like just
What?
something on your mind
You're
that day. You'll know.
Are you asking me what's
I
my
actually
beef?
I actually had a
Yeah,
couple of
what's your
questions.
beef?
Is
You
this
know what?
what's my beef?
We were let's.
Is this what's my beef?
No.
Oh,
it
okay.
could be if you wanted it.
You're listening to comedy and everything else. What's your beef? This week on the show. This week, Norm Macdonald.
Can I try an Adam Carolla impression?
Yes.
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 Let me try.
Do whatever you want.
I don't know if I can do it, but give me a subject that I can rant about.
Dancing with the
talk about
stars.
people that recycle or people that smoke
Let
cigars.
me tell you something about.
Is that what you said?
What is it? He's almost like Andy Rooney.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something first of all about people that recycle. If you're 21 and you're still thinking you should be recycling, maybe it's time for a different sort of, right?
Well, he'll have an opinion on the weirdest things, like crushed ice or the cubed ice. Go ahead, Adam.
The what?
That could-
The crushed ice or the cubed ice?
yeah.
Well, the crushed ice guy is always the guy that's hanging around the island in the.
Like, how could
He
somebody...
wants the crushed ice.
Right. He'll all of a sudden have 30 minutes on crushed
Yes.
ice. It's something about it angers him. I'm not even making fun of him for
The
it.
square ice is more like you get a tumbler, you put your ice in, and you're drinking.
And the crushed ice?
So that's it's almost like
Crushed
Andy
ice
Rooney.
is like
It's
some
almost
kind-
like Andy Rooney improv.
Crushed ice.
And by the way, I don't know if you've seen Andy Rooney lately, but that guy with those kind of eyebrows should not be giving advice to anybody. I mean, it's
Every
like the-
Sunday we go through this.
It's like if it,
I agree.
I like my favorite thing about Andy Rooney is he uses way too many examples.
Give
So
me
he's
an
like,
example.
Can you give us an
well, he's
example,
like,
please?
there's a lot of cotton now.
Oh,
And
you get
medication. Here's a bottle of an antipsychotic I take, mostly cotton. Here's another bottle of pills, something called Aleve. Let's open it up here. Mostly cotton. About 13 pills.
Most people here would stop, but Andy, keep going. Keep going. You have to commit. Come on.
Here's something called Tylenol. Another one called Advil. I got 35 of them. Here's the cotton. Here's the pills. You know.
I can let him keep going. If he can keep thinking of things.
One time he goes, we always use hand dryers in the bathroom, and then the highest production value is the clips they use in the few minutes with Andy Rooney. So he goes, we all use hand dryers. Cuts to like a video of a guy's hand under a dryer.
Necessary?
That's the
I
guy's.
don't think so.
The guy's on B-roll.
My headphones keep going in and out, but that's all right.
How's
for
your
now.
battery?
batteries.
If I meet one more chick that wants to become a veterinarian,
He never said that, did he?
no, that's the other one.
Oh, okay.
That's Corolla.
Oh.
That's sort of.
Oh yeah, yes.
First of all, if you want to be a veterinarian,
I have a question for you.
yeah.
Todd, talk to Adam Carolla as
Todd Glass is with us. The thing about Todd that always got me is he's one of those yellow shirt guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Who did you want me to talk to him as?
Colin Quinn.
Oh, Quinn.
Talk to Adam Carolla.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Colin
Crushed
Quinn.
ice. Cubed ice. I gotta listen to Adam Carolla now. He's gonna go off for an hour and a half.
I always loved Colin Quinn because it was kind of like he just missed it.
Missed what?
He was really big, but kind of at the wrong time.
Oh, this is
Yes.
Adam Carolla.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I'm very confused right now.
No, Norm's a good guy. Adam Carolla. Oh, Jesus.
I'm very lost right now. I'm not going to lie.
It's okay. You know what?
Just shut up.
No,
Now, we
no,
get
no.
confused all the time. We did death. Once you do death, on Family Guy, it's like everybody knows you as death. You could be anything. You could build your life as like a heart surgeon, work on that for a while.
Oh my God! I just put that.
is
Didn't Adam
Adam
Carolla
Carolla.
take over for you as Death on Family Guy?
Yeah, Norm did it first, and then I think of it doing.
That's right. I just realized that. On Family Guy, it was 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh my God, that's Norm. Is that if my questions are stupid, you just you give me a little forgiveness here. Is that fun to do? I knew it was gonna be bad. Shut up, everybody! Shut up! Come on, no one was asking any good questions.
Oh man, it's
So, wait a minute. Let me try.
It's a
Come
Mary.
on, that's not fair. I said I prefaced it.
Loja.
Are you dating?
That was a-
dating anyone? How's that going?
It's the Mary
Really
Hart.
good
It's the
question.
Mary Hart special.
But I really wanted to know because that's my favorite show. I love Family Guy. I'm tired of people telling me I shouldn't like it.
Wow.
But
Who tells you that?
Who would
some people
say
they go,
that?
which episodes you watching? The first ones, yeah, they're good. But then
Really?
the people that love it, yeah.
Okay.
So is it fun? Hey, what did you like about SNL? Did you have diarrhea every day when you went to work? Was it that bad? Everybody that worked on that show told me they had diarrhea
Diarrhea.
every day. Is that true? Seriously. You don't have to answer.
No, I was never really nervous. Though.
No?
I had
would be.
panic attacks.
What happened?
But right before I'd have to do update, I'd like go, I'm gonna fucking take the elevator down and walk around New York and not do it this week.
You genuinely thought
wow.
that?
Yeah.
That never happened, though, right?
No.
Why don't you just take a Xanax or something?
That's what I ended up taking.
Oh, there you go. Right.
Yeah.
For
Did you
the
do corporate shows ever?
No, I did a corporate gig when I first started. You know what? They're the funniest when you're like the stuff you do the 3 months into comedy, you know?
And then someone gets you to do a corporate.
Yeah, the worst, you're so unsavvy, it's fucking crazy. So I just show up at it's a ski lodge, so the guy meets me and it's a pesticide convention. He had sent me a lot of literature on pesticide. I had my 5 minutes opening at Yuckex, and he gave me a bunch of pesticides literature that I was supposed to
Write
absorb
more
and
jokes
turn
about
into an act.
Yeah, write more jokes about pesticide than you've
So I
ever
showed
written.
up, and I'm all nervous and scared, and I only have my 10 minutes of Canadian political jokes. And so I meet the guy, and he's like, listen, I thought of an idea, funny idea.
Ugh, I hate it already.
So yeah, now I would go, no, we're not doing the funny idea. That's for sure. I'd say that right away.
Right.
But then I'm like, oh, yeah. He goes, I'll bring you in. He goes, and I'll pretend you're the head of. There's a new head of advertising in New York. This is in Canada. He goes, nobody's met him, but he's a pretty big cheese. He goes, we'll pretend it's you. I go, I don't think this sounds good. He goes, no, it'll be funny. So then I have to go, okay. So then he walks me. He goes, you feel like having something to eat? I go, yeah, that'd be great. So he walks me into the big giant hall where I was supposed to speak and be a comedian, and to this head table. So I'm all freaked out, And then he says, this is Jim from the New York office. Like he introduces me as the fake guy while I'm eating with the other people.
Okay.
So once in a while, they'd like say something to me, go to the gym and pass aside, and I'd go, just be.
Go
Anyways, I'd be talking to this guy. So then he introduced me and he said, hey, this is Jim, whatever, from our New York office. Here he is. And then I went up and he goes, go get him, So I'm like, anyways, how about that NDP, And then and I was just talking about Canadian politics, And so no one's laughing. People are confused.
Well, they don't even know they should laugh, probably.
Yeah. Why am I not talking
Oh
about that?
no.
So about 5 minutes in, no silence or anything, a guy yells up, enough with the jokes. So then I don't know what to do. I do a couple more jokes. There's kind of rumblings. And then this fucking guy, the president guy, runs up beside me, the guy whose idea it was a joke, puts his arm around me and he goes, hey, he goes, it's all a joke. He goes, this isn't Jim from the New York office. It's Norm Macdonald, a comedian. And then he runs away. So now they're openly hostile that I've tricked them and shit. I still have oh man, that's the worst.
I have sort of the same story but at least in my case, they were a teeny bit smarter.
Yeah.
I was a new manager. They brought in an outside president, which usually the vice president gets moved up. So when an outside president comes in, I know enough, not even being in that corporate world, they don't like him. And I was like 21 at the time. So the guy says, we're going to say you're the guy. Now, this is years ago, so obviously but they did put me at a table with everyone that was in on it, because that way I wouldn't get into any uncomfortable.
Okay.
That was smart. Which in your case, I didn't think of that. And then
it was a last-minute thing you thought of.
They hated me. And then I ended up having to talk to people. And I would, go around. I went up there, and I was, it's like, this is so stupid. I went up there, and the first thing I said was, they wanted me to go on for like 20 minutes. I went up there, I said, look, I know that you all hate me. And they got a big laugh. And then I figured, you won. And then I go, I'm not really the guy. I figured I got to laugh. I got to laugh. Like, they laughed as, oh, this new guy has a sense of humor. The fact that he would go up there. And then I just said I'm a comedian, but it didn't go great after that. And it was just, why do they think these are good ideas?
There was a guy named Rich Seisler out of Boston who pretty much does that a lot. Like
if you did it as a
like
conceptual thing, that'd be fun. Like show up as the janitor with a broom and insult
They love
guys.
it.
No, that would be really funny. I think if you
had a bit worked out for it.
Yeah, you could do it actually. Really,
you
funny.
could do it. I'm not doing it. What do you think? My career's in the shitter? Norm's already going, hey, maybe you could start a dog walking business. No, I mean, I know it's been a while since you've done the Kimmel show. And everyone needs their dog to be walked. My parents used to always get worried because I did really bad in school. And, now looking back, I can sort of understand that, you're worried that your child has to make a living the rest of his life. Yeah. And they thought I was borderline,
Retarded.
They didn't know what I was. And so any sign of anything I showed interest in, my parents would be like, and one time I walked my neighbor's dog when they were away, and my parents were like, you could start a dog walking business. And they made me cards. I was like, ugh, I don't want to walk dogs. And then I think I planted a tree, and then they go, ooh, he likes landscaping. And my mom, this is a true story, she called me. It shows how don't underestimate kids. We all know that saying, oh, they're smarter than we think, and it goes in one. I'm not bragging. I was like every other second grader. They're all smart.
Yeah.
My mom goes, ask Todd about trees, because he knows a lot about trees, and that'll boost his confidence. So I didn't like my teacher. She talked down to me. So she goes,
she was a sap.
I knew my mom told her. Tree? It's a good one. I knew that my mom told the teacher that. So she goes, Todd, what's wrong with my tree? I go, it has a disease. Throw it out. I swear to God, I remember, because I knew now she either had to do it to build my confidence or go, are you sure there's not a medicine? Not for what it has. Throw it out. Mrs. Biazzi.
And so what happened?
She didn't throw it out.
Yeah.
One time, I swear to God, this is a true story. I think I sort of believe my mom now. I listened in on the conversation with her and my teacher. And my mom goes, you do know Todd has minimal brain damage. I swear to God.
What?
Now listen, but they thought I did. Like,
Why?
they didn't know anything about dyslexia then. They were, oh, wait, now I'm so, with
And
your
you
reaction,
heard
now
that?
I'm sorry. Well,
How did that affect you?
I was on the other end of the phone.
How old were you?
2nd grade.
Oh my God.
Well, they did think I did have it. So, but
Well,
then
Todd, first of all, I take back a lot of things I've said.
Me too.
but now I think
I
you know when you
really
tell a
do.
story like
feel terrible.
even your
I
close
feel horrible.
No,
You're
I'm
an
so
incredible
sorry.
overachiever. The fact that you're even sitting upright right now,
Well, I do say a lot. It's amazing
know.
I can drive a car.
I agree with you.
Okay, but I know the fact that I'm prefacing this, you might think, well, then why are you prefacing it? But I could see someone going, come on, Todd, how much of this story you're beefing up? Or first of all, I should say, it gets cloudy. It was how many years ago? But when the phone hung up, I told my mom I was listening.
Funny.
I never heard that.
I told my mom I was listening. She
cloudy.
goes, Todd. Now let me tell you this, and it wasn't able to gel it all then, but I knew that my mom and dad always treated me with respect. I knew, even then, I knew they talked to me like an adult. So I believed my mom. She goes, I don't know what to say to get him off my back, Todd. She goes, and I thought, you know what? My mom says when children hear the truth, they believe it, and I believed it. I didn't
okay.
overthink it. Like when
Okay.
you're told, when kids ask questions, be honest.
So that
But
made
even-
you feel better that your mom had to make up a lie that you were brain damaged.
They did
to
leave me alone
explain-
after.
to explain your behavior.
They did leave me alone after that.
What was your behavior?
I didn't. I had dyslexia, and back then they didn't know. Like it, and by 10th grade they knew everything. But this is pre.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
That had to
They
be
thought you were
horrible.
argumentative. They thought you. How could he be so smart verbally, and then he obviously doesn't apply himself. They didn't
I
get
thought
it.
dyslexia, when I was young, was stupidity. They thought you were stupid.
They did.
And your dad didn't like you and stuff because you're stupid.
Well, most
he
of the,
liked you. But who wants a stupid kid?
most of the schools they put kids like me in back then were like. I remember the first time I had to go to a special school, Wordsworth Academy, and they walked me in. They go, everybody, this is Todd Glass. He's a new student, and they all were very rowdy. And the teacher goes, you're acting like animals. I swear to God, every kid went, Meh. They're making noises. But guess what? That was me 3 months later. I was doing it. New kids would come in, we'd act stupid, and we weren't. We just. But anyway, that's so.
Hey, I thought,
Anyway.
That's a great story.
Hey, Norm.
hey, I thought of a corporate gig I did.
Mary Jo's hugging me. Thank
Lori
you.
Jo.
Lori Jo. Shut
You've
up.
only known her
Shut up.
12 years.
Shut up.
He's
Shut up.
dyslexic.
Dyslexic.
I'm
Damn
retarded. Dad, Maury Joe.
I did. I
What's
did
wrong with
this.
that? Jimmy
No,
just
no,
stared at me
no,
like
I was-
I did a corporate gig, right? This is really funny. I forgot about this completely.
Now the pressure's on.
Because the other one was so like weird stuff happened, but this one was much funnier. The guy told me, he was telling me like he phoned me a week before, and he goes, "Listen, you know it'll kill." He goes, "I'll tell you 3 things about these people," and the big one was the president. He goes, "The guy's a bad golfer, you know, but he thinks he's good, you know. So the big joke is his golf game." He goes, "If you can make fun of that." So I got this joke book and I had a bunch of golf jokes. So I just memorized them, you know. So my first joke, I go, "Hey man, I was out with Gordon. I don't say his golf game is bad, but the only birdie he hit was a goose on a 60." Some fucking shit joke.
Okay.
And so no one laughs or anything. And then this one guy, the boss guy, he goes, "I'm a good golfer." Just like that, right? There's no sound or anything, you know? There's no laughter. I go, "Oh, no, I'm not saying." I go, "I'm not saying you're not." He goes, "Oh, okay, go ahead, you know." So, but I had about 6 like golf jokes, and I had them memorized. I couldn't I had to transition to the next one. I go, "No, but you know, some guys are bad golfers." I said instead of him, now I'm saying some guys. I go, "Some guys are bad golfers," and I go, "My uncle, this guy can't golf." And then this guy goes, "I know you're talking about me."
Are you shitting me?
No, there's still silence. It happened, yeah. It's the fucking worst thing ever. Not one laugh, not one employee.
How long have you done comedy up to this point?
Oh, I was so unsavvy. That's why. I mean, like 6, 8 months or something like that.
And back then they're like $250, I think. It seems like.
So the guy was
I
telling
mean
me
10,000.
they didn't know how this guy would react. I mean, they were telling me the truth, but in a different way. I thought they meant he can take a ribbing. Who would think it meant, you know, the guy's really serious and
I'm a good
self-delusional about his fucking golf, and no one laughs at it. It's not a joke. So anyways, that was very uncomfortable.
Norm, is it true? One time, we were exchanging stories one time about. Do you have a story about someone accosting you on stage that is funny? Is that true? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, no one ever accosted me.
It's
There
not
was
true.
There was a fight broke out at a comedy club or something when you were just starting out. Guy had you in a headlock. The bouncer told you to take it outside. You're like, I'm the comedian. The guy's like, I don't care who you
yeah,
are.
take it outside. The guy said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Right?
Yeah, that was a fight like in a disco. Twice that sort of things have happened to me. Yeah, I was doing a gig in a disco. It wasn't quite but he knew I was a comic, and he kicked me out. Another time, a guy was throwing fire. He was in the front row throwing firecrackers at my feet. So I said, "You're gone, buddy." I said to the manager, "Get him out of here." The manager goes, "He's a regular."
That doesn't represent. Oh God.
No.
I believe that because
believe that too.
they don't. They no respect to the comedy at all. They're so afraid. Like someone's heckling at a bar and they have a comedy night and they go, "That's a regular." Like that one we did where that girl was in. They're so afraid to kick a regular out, because they spend $180 a year. God forbid they kick them out.
No kidding.
Do you guys remember that story? What was it where you drove to that one gig together? And you guys were in. You told the guy like,
Todd and I. Oh yeah.
Don't
Todd and I-
spoil it. Don't spoil it. I said, say it. Don't spoil it.
Where they put the bill down for food.
Oh yeah, you took. Can you tell that?
So
really
we were
quick?
doing this gig in Lake Havasu, which is about 5 hours through the desert, nothing. So we get there, and we were doing it so we could work together because we always had
Yeah.
fun together.
Yeah.
And we have dinner.
By the way, this is a long time ago.
I
don't want people to think
This is 10 years ago. So we have dinner, and the waitress brings the check over, and Todd, you take it from here.
Well, they charge you for the food, so. Between us, it's like, really, come on. So the way I dealt with it is that I got up on stage.
And
by
they
the
were
way,
only $10 dishes, by the way.
it wasn't
They weren't-
expensive, but when they pay for the food, it's such a warm thing. It's like, put your wallet away. It's such, they appreciate us, right? So they put the check down. And by the way, there's 2 shows on a Wednesday night. Both shows sold out. So this guy's thinking, so they put the check down, they charge us. So I go up on stage and I go, after I was doing good, I go, I got to tell you. I love the guy who owns this place.
Remember, you told the waitress first. She goes and talks to the guy.
Yeah, and he
The
said,
guy comes back, and she says, he said just half price.
"Oh, right, it was half price." I go, "Is it?" He
She
goes,
said half price.
So I go on stage and I go, "I love the owner here." I go, "He did the funniest fucking thing." I go, "Obviously, you drive up here, and most of these places, when you go, they feed you. It's just a warmth. It's like, they all do it. It's like, put your wallet away. You're in my home. You have a dinner on me. Sit down at one of the tables." And this guy did the funniest thing. He acted like he was going to charge us half price. I go, "How can you imagine?" Oh, by the way, I want to be really clear with this. He was joking, so don't misunderstand this. But can you imagine if someone that fucking cheap, half price, I need to make my $2 on their hamburger? Can you imagine if somebody fucking really did that? Like, they want the comedy to work, but they're that cheap. Instead of going, put your money away, they go, "Give me $5 for your hamburger." Guess what? They didn't drop the bill after that. Because we said, we'll pay after the show.
But the guy left.
He left.
The guy left. Todd kept going. He goes, "What kind of a fucking asshole, after you drive 4 hours through the desert, is going to ask you to pay $4 for a plate of fucking linguine? No one's going to do that, obviously. It's hilarious. What a fucking... I love this guy." And that's why people go, "Why would you go to the middle of nowhere, Hank Havasu?" Because this guy gets it.
Yeah.
That's why we come here. And Todd went on until that guy left.
But then they didn't charge us for. Well, we said we'll pay when we get paid, and then they didn't charge
Yeah,
us.
and they didn't charge us.
Good.
Yeah, which was we win, and we get to tell the story.
Maybe we were a little cheap.
Well, I'm totally paranoid about asking any more questions, so you have to pick this up because
Norm, what makes you go crazy? No, who was that?
Jiminy
You know what I like? We've been so long because we since we went down our list of things, so our lists are all piling up. Let's go over to Steph and just sort of we can take a right turn and just we can take
What's
it that
your
direction.
beef?
What's my beef? Well, I sort of just need a consensus, and I wished I had the particular item with me. But in short, this is just a personal story. I don't know if you know this, but I am Mexican.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you just need to know that. That's how I introduce myself to people all
Most
the
of
time
them think
now.
she's Italian because they like her.
And it's better.
So and
I would think she's Italian.
everybody does.
Right?
They all think I am,
She's like regular.
just like you guys.
Jimmy always tells her, "Shut up about the Mexicans."
Yeah, people think you're Italian. Let them think.
Yeah. Didn't hurt Petrocelli. Jewish guy. Back in the 70s, a lot of Jewish guys were playing. A lot of Jewish guys played Italians on TV. Petrocelli, all the lawyers, that were supposed to be
I remember that show.
Italian
Isn't that
were
funny?
played by the Jewish guys, and the Jewish guys were really happy in Hollywood because people thought they were Italian. Cool.
Well, they actually wanted a Mexican for this. So it worked
Mexicans are
out.
the new Jews. That's what
Yeah,
I hear.
really, we really are.
Really?
We're actually sort of the new super delegates too.
So-
I think.
Yeah.
What's
So,
the
anyways,
story?
my story is simply that I was going out one night with Jimmy, and I put on a poncho
this.
to go out, and I
My
no-
point is, you can't. I
well,
told her she
when
can't-
it's a handmade poncho by my mother. My mother made my poncho.
It's a beautiful poncho. You can't wear. You're Mexican. You can't wear a poncho unless we're in Mexico. You're Mexican because then people go. Well,
They're
why does
worried.
that guy bringing his maid with him to the
To
cheesecake
Nordstrom's.
factory? What? Why is he shopping for shoes at Nordstrom's? Well, that's mean.
Right.
She'll never be able to afford to shop here, and he brings her that
Right.
nice little Mexican girl with the poncho. Look at her.
Yeah.
So
And he
hold
makes
on.
her dress in her native garb.
Hold on.
That's
Exactly.
not nice.
What's your question? Was that mean? Was it mean what Jimmy did?
So
or-
I didn't let her go out of the house with it. I go, you have
No,
to change
no.
it. I'm not walking around. If you
He
were
had
Italian,
he had the same. His ex-girlfriend was an Eskimo. He had the same. He would never let her wear the Eskimo garb.
Parka. Yeah.
Right.
what is the Eskimo?
Well, I think of that fuzzy thing around their head.
Yes.
Yeah, you can wear something. Try a scarf and a hat. That's what I say. If you're an Eskimo and we're dating and we're in Los Angeles, that's all I'm saying.
Well, this point came up, but Todd, at some point, like, do you ever find like people tell you what you should wear? Do you listen?
I do have some close friends. One of them is my friend upstairs, Andrea, who will, over the years, I'm pretty good with dress. Like, I don't want to dress like I'm 18, but I want to dress like I get it. You know what I mean? And as you get older, sometimes, like a lot of times I'll be wearing a pair of shoes. She'll go, Todd, don't wear those anymore. And I used to go, no, I just did a college. They're all wearing them. I did, and sure enough, I'd do a college a month later. I go, oh, God, no one's wearing these anymore, So I listen to her, but a lot of times she'll be like, don't wear that, or what
I
are you
remember
wearing
one
this
time
for?
we go ahead.
I just want to know, would you let me wear a poncho with you?
That's a good one.
If you were dating, you
Would
lived
you
together.
let me?
I know that sounds a little. Would I couldn't not make you, but I might. I
Don't
might
make it sound like I'm a Svengali.
Yeah, right. That's what I was
Jesus
thinking. I think.
Would you let me? Would it be okay if we were together? If I was able to
Well, the
pick my
fact of
own
the matter
clothes?
is, I think I
Would
did.
you let on
no,
Fridays? I could eat whatever I wanted.
Well, let's just be clear. I did wear the poncho that night.
She did wear it anyway.
I did wear it.
and humiliated me.
And isn't it true that Jimmy wore a
Isn't it
matador's
true?
outfit and had
I'm not going to wear a kilt, right?
Yes.
And it's not the same thing. It's not,
Aren't
again,
you
I did get
Irish?
kicked out of analogy school. But
I would say
You're Scottish, right?
Irish, so it's not the perfect.
Well, I grew up Scottish. It's like everybody talks about their ethnicity and everything, but the Scottish, everything they have is retarded. They don't have one good thing. It's like
name some of the
bagpipe.
things.
Well, one's a bagpipe.
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't
little-
get bagpipes.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's the
Right?
worst one. It's the worst one of all.
I'll tell you what, though. I want him playing at my funeral, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Please,
Bagpipes?
I'm saying it now. Please have a lot of bagpipes. I want people crying like a motherfucker, and those bagpipes will bring it out of you.
Todd even wants to stage his own funeral. I want candles, a nice curtain. You tell him to bring the lights down.
Yes. Oh, I'll be so mad. I think if my funeral isn't right, I will fucking manage a way to get out of that coffin. Like,
Are you kidding me? No one thought of a red carpet. Anyway, so
And they wear kilts.
that's a little foolish.
Yeah, that's completely fine. You
I
can't swear.
just
right?
want, for the record, I just have to
It's
clear up.
completely retarded, and they eat sheep's stomach, and they fucking live in a scrubby shit land up north of the nice part of
no,
Britain.
The Scottish.
my
and
brother.
then they have the Highlands Games, which I went to every year with my dad, where they had their big event was they threw. This is their sport. They throw a telephone pole, like pick it up, toss it as far as they can.
Yeah, I've seen that on the.
Caber tossing.
Yeah, we could do without that.
Everything they do is retarded. And the worst accent.
Is there anything good they do?
I met Billy Connolly. He lived in my neighborhood. This guy made you feel so bad because he was so excited about everything. So there was a diner like right near my place, and I go there and be like, oh, like, it's the morning, and he'd go, Norm, have you been to the Beverly Center? So I go, yeah, I was there. He goes, it's brilliant. There's store after store. And on the top, they have a international food. He goes, if you want Japanese, you walk over here. If you go, like he's all happy. Escalators.
But I'm thinking maybe
then
he's
I'm
got
like,
the right idea.
That's what I'm saying. You feel like I'm a bad guy. Like I don't appreciate but no, he's wrong.
Well,
It's the fucking Beverly Center.
Yeah.
It's like whenever I'm on the road, I go, is there anything in your town that sucks because I've already lived in New York? And they go, have you seen the Galleria? And you're like, yeah, that'll be fun.
Well, it's like
No, I can't even imagine what that would be like.
if it was
The
way.
Galleria, you say? Is it like a bunch of stores that I've already been to?
down different hallways.
Yeah, and they have a tide pool. And you're like, no, I'm not going there.
Have you been to that mall in Edmonton? Norm?
Oh, the West Edmonton Mall. Yeah, yes.
I love mall.
You do?
No. I mean, they're all right. I like what's that place, the Grove. I will admit that I actually like
Todd,
going
do
to
you
the
put a
Grove.
lighter in your pocket?
No, I didn't. Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you think most of the time, I know it's taking a weird turn, but this show's a little, it's all over the place anyway, so it's fun. I hope.
The show's unpredictable, man. All right?
Hey, could you do you know how the radio shows always have you, this is, hi,
Can I do
this is
one
Todd
thing
Glass.
before
No.
Can I do one thing
Nope.
before we go to the next thing?
No, you do this and then
It's
you
not
do
a
this.
time show, right?
Well, no,
Just
we're
ask
fine.
me just one question.
That you can answer.
And I'll
as-
answer in my
as
favorite
Raymond
character.
Burr.
No, in my favorite character.
Oh, okay.
2 years post Watergate, Richard Nixon.
Oh. Are you all right, Lori Joe?
So you get.
Where
get
do you
ask
like
him
to
a question.
vacation?
You get to ask. Well, that's not much of a question. You get to ask him a question. Let's say you had one question.
To ask Richard Nixon.
Yeah, 2 years past Watergate. You're like a young
Okay.
journalist.
Okay, I would ask him, how did you really feel about the Jews?
Now, this is how
This
I'll
is
answer
Nixon.
publicly, or this is...
No,
Yeah,
this is,
no, he wouldn't answer privately.
oh, okay.
I mean, I can't answer privately.
Okay, publicly.
So no, he wouldn't even entertain that question.
Oh,
The question wouldn't come up.
oh, you're right. Oh,
No,
so
2
public
years.
question.
2 years
Right,
post
right.
Watergate, that question.
So
wouldn't
here's
come
a
up.
question you could ask him.
At a
Yeah.
press
Could be
con-
edgy, but not
2 years
too.
post Watergate.
What is? Are you finally going to reveal your secret plan to end the Vietnam War?
2 years post Watergate?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Norm.
Norm, why don't you write us questions like
And then we'll
Dr.
fucking
Irwin
give it
Corey
to you.
would do?
You know, what am I? I can't do them at different. What am I, Frank Gorshin? Yeah, I'll do them at different periods of his career. What, you want the 1962 Nixon?
Why did you
Jeez,
do it?
I do
You were
one
gonna win the
character.
election anyway.
I don't,
Steph,
I don't
you've had
do-
a lot of luck with these
I
questions.
don't do them at different times
No,
in
no.
his life.
President Nixon, what do you?
I don't do boy Nixon.
Where do you see the price of oil going in the future?
Why would you ask that to a 2 year post Watergate Nixon?
You,
Do you
You're-
support
he's not-
Gerald Ford?
are you and Dean Halderman? Are you and Halderman still friends?
Well, what happened to Bob? What happened?
After all our questions?
After all that.
After all that,
That's
It
what you
does.
did?
It still. I mean, it just seemed like a good question. It seemed like a good question compared to the completely ludicrous questions that
Oh,
preceded it.
where are the
Still,
tapes?
Not a good question. Not what you would ever ask Nixon
All right,
2
let's
years
bring-
after Watergate. I'm asking you what you, Todd Glass, you, Jimmy Dore, would ask Nixon
I would ask him how he really felt about the Jews, but then you said no, you can't.
They
ask
didn't
him
know
that.
about the Jews 2 years post Watergate.
Well, are you
Those
asking
tapes
me?
weren't out yet.
Okay.
I'm really gonna flunk
I have to
this
pretend-
history.
So you would never
question
ask that
test.
question.
You would
I
have to.
flunked it.
I don't say you can go back in a time machine and ask a question. You have to be a contemporary.
This is guys.
Let's
seriously.
Just do the fucking impression.
I don't really have. I don't have a.
How do you feel about colored spies?
That would come up.
Yeah,
See, another question.
I think.
Exactly
is
the
there
same.
anything you missed?
Took
First of all-
nothing from what I just said.
Do you think middle class? What do you think of the?
What do you think of the future of the Republican Party, Mr. President?
What's
Mr.
that?
President? Where do you see? What do you see the future of the Republican Party?
Well, I will say that if the Republican Party is going to stay with it, as they say, or as the young people like to say, with it, I don't know that, but seriously, the one thing that the Republican Party has to do is not to be hostage to the fundamentalist Christian. That will make the party. It'll make them a joke eventually, and it's going to be tough. No, that was nothing.
Out of his mind. We don't have to be uncomfortable to tell Norm that he has these paths he goes down sometimes. But it's what's
My favorite
magical
thing
about
that
him.
was that it specifically had to be two years past Watergate.
Yeah.
No,
That's the only
answer
time
that
I can
question.
do.
You wouldn't
is
get that
the
question.
time.
You wouldn't get that question.
It's the only time I can do. It's not a good. And I do.
What do you see
And
your
my other
legacy?
character is Sterling Hayden from the Asphalt Jungle. You can ask me a question like.
Do you know who
about
that
him.
is?
No.
I don't even know who that
Yeah,
is.
you can just ask. He's a hooligan. He's a hooligan from a crime caper in 19.
Okay, you go
46.
first, Todd. You ask the first question.
What are you going to do to cut down on illegal liquor sales?
I don't know, but I'll tell you this.
Is he related to Richard Nixon, this guy?
No, you're asking him a question like you'd ask a politician. He's a hooligan.
So you're wrong. You got the question wrong again.
Yeah.
I've,
All right,
I've never
you
been
go,
so
Jimmy.
nervous. Hey, ask me. I do Phil Donahue. Ask me any question. Ask Phil Donahue. Any question at all. Go ahead.
Well,
Any
that's
question.
easy. That's easy.
Okay.
But you should question. I'll be Richard Farnsworth.
Do you
No,
think
no,
gays should
just-
be able to get married, Phil?
No, like a question, things that are going on now. Like any question. Ask me
You
a
saw
question.
that coming.
Wait, Phil, what do you think about the elections? How do you think-
No, you can't go back in time. Phil Donahue, when he was on the show, when he retired,
oh,
the
okay.
day he
What-
retired.
all right,
do you
so
think-
what do you think about Hillary Clinton?
No, about now.
Oh, okay.
He's retired.
What about the Iraq War? How do you feel?
Was that then? I wish I knew to play along. Wait, was the Iraq War
First
back
of all,
then? Oh, God, edit this out for the love of Jesus.
no, that was.
Todd.
So
Todd-
you were doing that as an example to Norm.
He
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
I had.
He
oh, go
was
ahead.
doing a YouTube answer video.
Let's just throw this around, see if you have anything. I'm going to. Do you think most of the time when people say, you got to be so politically correct these days, they're usually prejudiced fucking people?
Yes,
It seems that way to me,
Yeah, absolutely.
right?
Well,
Absolutely. Let's move
Here's
on.
my question.
No, it's funny though. It's funny.
It just doesn't seem like they're very tolerant. Like the dumbest thing will happen, and then they throw everybody into the pot. Like nurses want to be called this, and then they go, and then they throw every legitimate.
you can't
thing.
even call them flight whores anymore. Come on, you son of a bitch! You.
Did you ever hear that George Miller joke? That was the funniest
What was
one. He goes, I asked for my stewardess the other day on the plane. She said, now we're called flight attendants.
Good George Miller.
I said, why? She said, because stewardess is a derogatory term. I said, isn't that your fault?
Do you remember seeing him on Letterman?
All the time. Yeah, that was a great joke.
I ordered a Salisbury steak, and she brought me over a hamburger. I said, this is hamburger. She goes, it's our steak. I said, no, it's hamburger. It's our steak. So on the way out, I cut up the menu or something. I cut up pieces of paper. I said, here's my $5. She goes, that's cut up pieces of paper. I said, it's my money. That joke,
Yeah, I
God
like
damn
that
it.
joke.
That I
like
did
that
not do that.
joke.
And he's
Yeah.
dead right now, and that wasn't very nice. That was
He goes, how about that Ludwig van Beethoven? I read he conducted his first concert when he was 15. These are the kinds of people who make you realize what an utter sham your life has been. Because when I was 15, I was in a McDonald's going, you want lids on these?
George Miller. He was all right.
Because people always tell me, George, it's never too late to work out. I say, good, I'll wait.
I like it. Hey, I'll tell you, they say it's never too late to work out. I say, good, I'll wait.
No,
Okay, listen to his Mitch Hedberg, Lodge. Rodney doing Mitch Hedberg.
Who's a question?
we actually have a question. I wanted to ask you about the documentary. You do a documentary about a joke?
The what?
Oh. George Miller's mom watching the documentary about the joke?
That's a great joke. No, that's my favorite George Miller joke. He goes, I was watching Wild Kingdom with my mother. At the end, it said, directed by Wolfgang Bauer. Produced by Wolfgang Bauer. My mother said, do you suppose that's the same Wolfgang Bauer?
Oh, that's funny. You redeemed yourself. Now, ask me questions as Richard Nixon.
2 years before the fall of the Berlin Wall.
But Lodge, listen to his Rodney doing Mitch Hedberg.
But didn't I do it on the podcast
Yeah, but you
once?
can do one again.
See, I remember. Anyway,
Lodge will love it.
Come on. Here's Rodney Dangerfield if he did Mitch Hedberg jokes. I'll tell you, the other day somebody asked me if I wanted a frozen banana, I said no, but I want a regular one later, so yeah, I'll tell you it's all right, I'll tell you I like rice. Put some headphones on. It sounds better, It sounds better with headphones.
It does sound better with headphones. All right, he's all right.
I'll tell you the other day, I like rice, Rice is good if you're hungry and you want 1,000 or something. It's all right, What are you going to do?
Todd.
The next one I have trouble saying.
Oh, go ahead.
What's the next
The
one?
one about I saw a sign the other day. It said escalator, temporarily stairs. I said it should say escalator, I fucked that one up. It said escalator,
Temporarily out of order.
Temporarily out of order. It should say
Todd,
temporary stairs.
do you remember the comic who's on the road who loves telling people what he does?
Oh, me.
Oh, the guy who can't wait to tell you he's
They
a comedian.
think-
you know
they
those
think-
guys?
They
You
think
know those
that's
guys.
me. So
No.
one night we were... No, they did outside. Brian,
Oh, they
he was
did.
right.
Oh, not us.
Oh, yeah, Brian Silbert, a friend of mine, thinks he says it affectionately. He goes, some people don't mention their comics. You sit down next to someone on a plane, you know that deal. You don't always say you're a comic, right?
And
so
why
Brian,
not? Why
'cause
don't
then you if
Same
it's
10 questions.
Same 10 questions.
Are you
and-
improving? How much are you improving?
Right.
when you
Even
do
though
it?
we should be patient because they're,
Do you work the circuit?
Are you guys on a tour? Why are we so angry? They don't know.
I don't know.
It's so wrong. We're
It's
angry.
just so boring.
And we're not really angry. So in case people
No,
are
we're not
listening,
really.
I'm scared. So anyway, so their impersonation of me is that I like I'm the guy that has comic on my license plate. It makes it sound like. So one night they were doing me. Jimmy, you sit next to me. Here's their impersonation of me. Ask me a question.
So where are you headed?
Indianapolis. There's a funny bone there. I'm a comedian. Ask me another question. This is what my friends. This is their version of me on a
So
plane.
you got any kids?
I don't have any kids. I'm on the road a lot, so it's hard to. I do stand-up comedy, and so it's hard with the kids. But no, I don't
Now
have
you're
any
the
kids.
guy who doesn't even need a question. He doesn't even need me to ask him the question.
Okay.
Ready?
All right,
Hey.
I'm a comedian. I'm heading to Buffalo. That's why I'm.
There you go. What do I do? I'm a
Oh yeah,
comedian.
you sit next to me. Ready? You sit next to me. Silence. You're probably wondering what I do. I'm a comedian. I'm working. No, I mean probably because Anyway, what are we doing now? Where are you going, Norm? You gonna walk around?
We're an hour 5 into the show.
You gotta go somewhere.
What am I?
Anyway,
How much time are we?
I'm Don Rickles.
What do we have, like about?
We're an hour and 5 minutes in.
oh, I can do Don Imus.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yes,
good.
please.
Okay.
Can you say this is Don Imus and I listen to comedy and everything else?
No.
Come on, do it.
I can't
We
do
drop
that
him
at
in as a
all.
joke.
All I can do is talk about him right after 9/11.
Can you do one? Okay. I love Norm. It's all his
Specific time frame.
What? It's true. I can
Okay,
only do it
I'll-
on this
I'm-
one thing. I
you
can't
would-
do.
hold on.
I can't channel him or I can do
Okay,
any
hold on
situation.
then. I know you're going to think this is. Understand the context. You know how all those shows have. This is Norm Macdonald. When you're listening, obviously it's a podcast.
I know, but I'm not Wayne Brady.
I know.
can
I'm
only
asking
do-
you to do you now. Just say this is
Okay.
Norm Macdonald.
This
I
is
listen
Norm
to comedy
Macdonald, and I
everything else.
listen to comedy.
I'll
and
say
everything else.
Good. Now say it
You
without me.
say,
I'll be
what?
the guy at the
Just to be,
radio.
I'll be the guy at the radio.
Shut up!
Go ahead.
I fell for that. I will be the guy at the radio station.
I'll be the guy at the radio
Come
station.
on.
Come on.
Norm. You're seriously
Gonna,
I gotta give
I gotta give you
you credit.
credit.
I mean, one side of me says, I can't believe you're resorting to this game.
No,
Give him some credit. He won't stop.
He won't stop.
How can I get you to stop?
How can I get you to stop? Seriously.
Okay, thank you.
Well, what were we doing?
Dude,
What
say,
did we do?
I'll be the guy
Don
at the radio
Imus?
station. No, you're going to do
yeah.
that second. I'm the guy at the radio station. After you did your interview, I go, hey, can you come in here for a second? Just say you're listening. This is Norm Macdonald. You're listening to comedy and everything else.
This is Norm Macdonald. You're listening to comedy and everything else.
Yeah, have fun with it. Say
By
it
the
again.
time I did it,
Say it again. Like, say something funny. Go ahead, do it.
Just do anything you want this time.
No, go ahead. Now you really have to do it.
Oh, what did I
It's
say?
part of bit, part we're getting you.
Oh, okay. What do I say?
This is Norm Macdonald. Go fuck yourself. Say it.
This is Norm Macdonald, and what the
Anything.
H?
Say, this is Norm. I'm just kidding. You don't have to say anything. All right, you were gonna do.
I can't remember.
He's going to do his impression.
of
Oh, Don Imus.
Kathy Bates.
Just
No,
after
Anyways,
Don Imus right after 9/11.
Okay.
I was going to go down to Ground Zero. Deirdre wants me to go down to Ground Zero. Where's the? Oh, I need the gum. Go ahead. You guys talk.
Oh, he does chew a lot of gum. Here,
you got-
pieces
you guys-
opened up already.
You guys keep talking. and then
We
I'll
just
say.
need to make some improvisational conversation right now while he gets chewing.
Background.
It's all right. We're just going to talk.
Waiting for
It's
Gulf.
not-
I got to
Rumble,
say,
rumble.
he says he only does two
Deirdre.
characters, but I know he does a lot more than that.
Yeah, I'd
One
do
of my-
Phil Donahue if he does Burt Reynolds.
Well, you do the best Phil Donahue I've ever seen. He does the best
Norm's
Burt
eating
Reynolds.
all
Phil
of the
Donahue done comedy and everything else endorsement yet?
This is Phil Donahue. You're listening to comedy and everything else. What are you gonna do?
Thank you.
Phil, how's your new documentary?
You have to understand, we are dealing with Americans that will always say, rah, 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 I'm here, and I support the flag the minute people speak in a country that is presumably a place for them to be able to speak. Well, sit down and shut up and follow everybody else here. And these people are only people trying to make this. Okay, I'm bored of myself
No, I
right
love
now.
this.
Never
I
hated
never get
myself
tired
more.
of that. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you're going to do Don Imus.
You're listening to comedy and everything else. Here's Norm Macdonald doing Don Imus. Fuck it.
I can't remember anything it says now.
You just say anything. You get the don't ask him
Anyways,
a question.
Deirdre wanted me to go down to Ground Zero. So, anyways, I decided to go today. And I can't tell you what it feels like because, well, kind of melancholy. And I came back and I picked up a New York Post and it said
So I was pretending. I was trying to get into thinking Don Imus's voice.
It's a little, isn't it a little more crumbly?
I know I lost
It's
it.
ridiculous. People down there, these kids, running all over them buckets.
He's not fucking whatever that is.
Fuck?
Yeah,
He's a mountain man.
I'm picturing him.
He doesn't belong in a 1930s movie.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't
was
know. I
that?
was trying. You know, I'm mentally. I have. What do I have?
Brain damage.
Brain
Yeah, I saw
minimal.
Elf. Yeah, I saw Elf
Sorry,
Frankenstein. Yeah,
It's minimal. Don't ever fucking forget it.
you know,
like-
I saw Al Franken show. He was a friend of the show, I suppose. He came on last week. And I enjoy him. Deirdre enjoys. And he had their show on, Late Line. And I watched it the other night. I mean, it was dreadful.
He's referencing a fucking sitcom from that time period where he's doing the
How
impression
can you
from.
reference that? That's hilarious.
Because that was right after 9/11.
That is a late line.
So he needed a sitcom. What sitcom was on during that period?
No,
Late Line.
Late Line.
Late Line.
Late
Oh,
line.
I didn't hear what I heard. Late Line.
This is Don Imus.
One night we were listening to that. We went to Vegas and we saw that guy who does 180 impersonations. We were sitting around thinking. Now keep in mind when the soundboard, if it needs bass, every single impersonation
Danny
has
Gans?
the Danny
That's what you're
Gans.
talking about?
Yeah, it has the bass, it has the treble.
Oh, he
they
does?
work every.
Oh,
I'm
that'd be
saying over
easy.
years of doing a show like that, it's produced, and then you hear the music behind them. So we sat around thinking of all the impersonations. Now they might suck, but I'd get better at them. I could,
Oh,
just,
you could do it. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
could do it.
I wouldn't be good. I couldn't do it
Sure
like
you
guys
would.
like Frank Caliendo who do ones that
No,
nobody
no,
else
no.
does.
But
But
you
I could
could
be a
do-
bad impersonator.
You could
Hey,
be
I'll
the-
tell you, I got no respect at all. Hey, and then I saw my friend Jackie Gleason. Listen here, dummy. Wait, look, there's Kermit the Frog. Why do birds suddenly?
Oh, look, Jack Nicholson's here, dummy. Jack Nicholson, what are you doing here? Listen here, Chief. Try to get me, and I'll get you your
It's Paul Lindsay.
Listen here, Truman Capote.
Paul Lynn and Charles Nelson Riley, very close.
Wow, it's
They all
really
sound the
nice.
same.
Yes, I
Very
agree.
good. Hey, right?
Like the
I
ones
agree.
Paul Lynn and Charles Nelson Riley,
Yes.
almost the same impression.
Thought they were the same person.
Hello, girls.
Like, I can't do impression, but I have the...
No, they were different completely. That was Paul Lynn. Charles Nelson Riley would be, and then I had the little hat.
Oh.
Kind of, yeah, I guess.
No,
Didn't
Todd,
not
you were
Paul
having a
Lynn.
hard time writing jokes recently. You called Charlie Callis.
Charlie
He
Callis.
called Charlie
Can you
Callis.
do it?
Yeah, he called. Guess what he gave me? I couldn't.
Is he alive?
Yes.
He called him. He
And
said
he-
he couldn't give him any jokes, but...
But he gave me this. Actually, but I said, can I have? He goes, I still do. But you can have.
And he gave you...
He gave me. By the way, two things I want to say here. One, remember a while back when I said he said I'm brain damage, and I went minimal.
Yeah.
That is actually I'm forgetting the comedian, but he says in school he had brain people go, you're retarded.
No,
You-
he would say... his kids would say... Joe Lindley.
Joe
says-
Lindley. So I wanted to be. Is that
Because I was
too
always
safe?
slow in high school. They would go, "Hey, you're retarded," and I would say, "No, I'm not. I'm borderline."
Yeah, I'm borderline. That's sort of like his joke, so I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's
Thank
the
you,
impersonation.
Now, I love the fact that when I ask Todd to do any of his impressions, he'll do them for me. Does it bother you when people ask?
Now,
you to
I'll do
impressions?
Broderick Crawford.
Do Burt Reynolds now, and I'm not fucking around.
No, do Broderick Crawford on the Merv Griffin show, though.
Can you make up your own questions?
In December,
Can you do
It
Burt
was
Reynolds
funny.
for me?
It was funny.
Do it.
It was funny.
Do it.
He's because Broderick Crawford, like even though he's a star,
Who is he? I never heard of him. Seriously.
You never heard of Broderick Crawford?
I've heard of him, but I couldn't tell you if you were doing a good impression
I
of
could
him.
tell.
I forgot it. Then.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, Norm knows what he's
really?
doing.
A
He
big
does
burly
impersonate.
guy. I can't believe you wouldn't know.
Norm
You
knows
know
what he's
what
doing.
you've
If I
seen
saw
him in
him,
a
I
couple
would know.
films.
I
Yes,
know.
with
I'm
me.
not good with. I got hit in a car accident as a kid, and I can't remember names. of
Don't use my excuse.
No, that's not your
I'm
excuse.
I'm genuinely retarded. How dare you mock it?
I literally got hit the part of my brain. They
he was
told
doing donuts in
Who's
the parking
chewing
lot.
gum? Norm.
Don Imus.
Guess what time it is?
It's time to say
Time
goodbye.
for you to do your Orny Adams impression.
I don't do it. I saw him at the gym yesterday. He's very nice. Actually, he did see him at the gym. Do you want to go around? We have a second.
Hey, you know
minute
what?
each.
You want to play a fun?
I don't.
Is it really time? I have a
Yes.
fun game we can play.
Well, we can play it around the fire after the show.
What's the game?
Oh, people do impressions they've never done before.
Oh, okay. Well,
We'll skip it.
Could
I-
skip it?
We can do it in the after show. After the show, every night we put our mics down. It's called after the show. Some people listen to it, some people don't. We just do this. We go, show's over. We take our
put
headphones
the
off,
headphones off,
and then
and we-
this guy comes on.
You've just listened to comedy and everything else. Now here's after the show. Enjoy.
It's their choice. So we can do it in the after show. Well, we're being serious.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
man.
all right.
But we
thanks.
stay in this room
Okay.
until we go outside to the fire pit. All right?
And we
Yeah.
do it for like 5 minutes.
Until we don't know what to do. Are they all the same? I went down there. I Pico. They got a million of those car places. You bring it in. You never know who's doing good work and who's doing bad. I can tell you that people at Precise Auto, they know what they're doing over there. They're good people. They take care of us. Jimmy, they fixed your car. His wife backed into his car. And they did. I don't really do. Like, we had ads.
know, that's really
okay.
good.
Precise.
Anyway. Precision Auto, right?
No,
it's
it's
precise.
precise.
It's precise?
Yeah.
It is precise. 933
Yeah, 2020.
2020.
323
933 2020.
Precision Auto.
Precise.
Precisely. It's like a joke at this point.
It
No,
is
it's
like
funny.
a joke.
Precise Auto.
All right. Well, thanks for
That's
Matthew,
right.
Myra, Stephanie, Todd. I'm Jimmy Dore. Thanks for listening. We're going to put our headphones down. Take care.
Bye.
Adios.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wait.
Don't ask that question.
Wait, I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused. The precise thing was a comedy bit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but
That's really funny.
there is a precise audience.
That's why I said it.
They came to my show, and I kept messing it up by accident.
Oh, because I would have said that if I didn't think it was a comedy thing.
Oh, really?
No, I would never have
No,
turned it in.
yeah, no, it's not a comedy. It's actually they have a place up the street. No, but if I mentioned the guy when he in my live show.
Oh, I know you do. Oh, that's right.
Right, and then he
Like your mom's guy that.
right, and he says, don't worry about it. So
Hey, but listen, man, we should do. Sometimes we should do this and do like Bob and Ray stuff.
what are Bob and who Bob? I know Bob and Ray, but I'm not familiar.
Like radio, like fake interviews with.
We do sketch sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Norm, your impressions were funny. It's got to be between this date and this date. No.
I feel like smoking a
You
cigarette.
wouldn't ask Nixon that question. It's you as a contemporary
Honestly, it's
2
like
years
Mr.
after the
Trans-
Watergate with a question that you could ask at a press conference.
Stephanie.
Oh.
Stephanie asked the perfect question the first time.
Stephanie
Like,
understood.
so then why did
I
you get
tried.
back?
We
I was
tried.
seriously
I
getting
tried.
nervous.
Stephanie was like a broadcaster, like Regis. Like,
I know, but then you're like, do it again.
Letterman,
Like, nobody
like-
can do
Did
this.
you
There's
see?
a lot of pressure with those questions, but I think we pulled through. I think ultimately it came together.
This was really fun.
Did you see Regis on Letterman last night?
Yes.
I love the whole dynamic.
Why do you feel nervous?
What?
You just said you feel nervous. Why?
The funniest Regis
Can you say
observation
it?
was,
Oh,
I
they
think,
just said
it
that.
was either Smile or Dan,
I thought you just
his
said you felt
impression, but
nervous.
one of them did it. But it was Regis on the morning show. He'll say something like, you know how you go, I'm out of control, like Dana would do that. But then the part that always made me laugh is that he noticed, like, right after that, he tried to get the show back again. Like, he wanted to offend small town Americans. So, you know, Sarah Michelle Gellar is back in the back, eating all the donuts. I can't get any donuts. There's no donuts. She ate them all. Anyway, she's a nice lady. Like, to let them know he's kidding.
They're fun to do. Have you ever tried doing one? It's like you're ready. So of course we go out to dinner with David Letterman, and David's of course the bill comes. Dave walks the other way. I end up paying. But no, in all seriousness, of course we love having dinner with them. They're the nicest people. They say it's because he's worried about his Midwest audience that might not know, like, you know.
Anyway, she's on the show. It's just a delightful.
They give me a star. Donald Duck got a star before me. I can't believe it. I'm down there. They're giving me a star. Donald Duck got one. But of course it's an honor. And all the people, Jimmy Feldstein was there. And they're good people. They're all good people. And it's an honor to get it. That's all. And,
I'll go on the View. Rosie O'Donnell won't shut her mouth. I can't get a word in edgewise, but they got a great audience. I love that.
they got a great audience. Of course, I love doing the show.
I love doing
Whenever I'm
that
in New
show.
York, I'll do it. It just rambles off and gets lower. And it turns into a mumble.
Okay, I got it. Yeah.
You got it.
But I can't. Kelly Ripa, right? That's his code.
Isn't like he one of the most like entertaining guys to watch ever though?
I love watching him with Letterman.
He's like a vaudevillian or something. He's just such a great character.
Last night it was almost very childlike. He goes, David Letterman goes, now your wife's had an operation the other day. He goes, why aren't you with her? He goes, and then he made a joke and he goes, no, your operation, Regis. You told me your wife was right by your side. This is Letterman. Your wife was right there. Shouldn't you be with her? He goes, I don't like to miss date. I don't like to miss date. Like I was glad on the show.
Yeah.
I do my work. I don't know if he was being serious, like he's that like much of a pro that or he was being. I don't know. Leave me alone.
It was funny when Letterman goes, when he was doing the Laura Dern, he goes, I was telling Regis earlier, I don't think he remembers. Remember that?
Yes.
I don't think he remembers.
I'm the bucket on his
When
head.
I did him and when I did the show, it was him and Kathy Lee. Right at the break, like I'm on 2 parts. Right at the break, Regis just escapes to get the fuck away from Kathy Lee. Regis goes into the audience like he loves all these old people, you know.
He really does.
He really loves the public, you know what I mean? So I have to fucking sit there and talk to Kathy Lee, who's horrible. And then like halfway through the break, it's like, no, I got a lady here. She thinks you're hysterical. She's never heard of you, but she likes you. I love it. The guy's
70 at that point, probably, isn't it?
Just having fun, you know. But he has
I love
fun with
it.
the audience, which is really great.
Well, that's why Letterman. Letterman obviously genuinely has like the highest regard for him, probably more than anybody, and that's probably why. Well, he said once, he goes, to go out there every day. Now, Letterman can do it now, but he said this back when he didn't do it as much. Letterman can do the same thing, in all respect. Go out there, and he doesn't need any monologue. He just go out there and talk about anything. But I think he saw Regis do that when he couldn't do it, and to him that was amazing. Like, this guy goes out there every day.
Probably is.
Yeah.
Well, every time I go to a Tonight Show,
Because they do the same kind of thing, except Letterman does like a surreal twist on it. But he does like what happened during that day. I go to the thing, and the maitre d' comes up to me. So
it's all the
Letterman
same.
yeah, it is.
Anyways, the maitre d' came up to me and gave me one of these. He'd do one of those.
Can you go?
Right.
I was gonna go light the log on fire real quick. Do you have a lighter I can borrow?